The family I was babysitting for said never to open the basement door, but tonight I had to. I'd been babysitting for the Harrington family for about 3 months when Mrs. Harrington first mentioned the basement. It was a Thursday evening in late October, and she was showing me where they kept the emergency supplies in case the kids needed anything, while she and her husband were at their weekly dinner date. She walked me through the kitchen, pointing out the first aid kit under the sink and the flashlights in the drawer by the stove. Then she stopped in front of a heavy wooden door near the back hallway, one I'd noticed before but never really thought about. Her hand rested on the doorknob for just a second too long before she turned to face me with an expression I couldn't quite read. "Whatever you do, don't open this door," she said quietly, her eyes meeting mine with an intensity that made my stomach tighten. "The basement is off limits, always." I nodded slowly, trying to process why she seemed so serious about a simple basement. "Is there something dangerous down there?" I asked, thinking maybe they had exposed wiring or a flooding problem. She hesitated, her fingers still touching the doorknob, and for a moment I thought she might actually explain, but then she just smiled that practiced smile parents give when they don't want to worry you, and said it was just old family storage, nothing interesting, but the stairs were unstable, and she didn't want anyone getting hurt. Mr. Harrington appeared in the hallway behind her, placing a hand on her shoulder, and they exchanged a look that lasted a beat too long. "Just remember what Catherine told you," he added, his voice friendly but firm. "That door stays closed, no exceptions, no matter what you hear, no matter what I hear." The phrasing stuck with me as they left that evening, the sound of their car pulling out of the driveway fading into the quiet suburban night. I stood in the kitchen with their 2 kids, 7-year-old Milo and 5-year-old Rebecca, both already absorbed in a cartoon on the living room TV. The house settled into its evening routine around us, the refrigerator humming, the old heating system clicking on and off, all the normal sounds of a family home. But now, I couldn't stop thinking about that basement door, and the strange way both parents had warned me about it. Everything seemed perfectly normal for the next 2 hours. The kids were well-behaved and easy to manage, exactly the kind of babysitting job that paid well and required minimal effort. Around 8 o'clock, I started their bedtime routine, getting them into pajamas and brushing teeth, reading them both a story before tucking them into their beds. I pulled their doors mostly closed and headed back downstairs to clean up the kitchen. That's when I heard it for the first time. A soft thump from somewhere below me, coming from the direction of that basement door. I froze with my hands in the soapy dishwater, listening intently to make sure I hadn't imagined it. The house was silent, except for the hum of the refrigerator and the distant sound of wind against the windows. Then it came again, definitely a thump, followed by what sounded like something heavy being dragged across a concrete floor. My heart started beating faster as I dried my hands and moved toward the hallway where the basement door stood. The door itself looked completely ordinary in the dim light, just a normal wooden door with a regular doorknob and a simple deadbolt lock above it. I noticed for the first time that the deadbolt was engaged, locked from the outside, which struck me as odd. Why would you need to lock a basement from the outside unless you were trying to keep something in? I pressed my ear against the door, barely breathing, straining to hear anything else. For a long moment there was nothing but silence, and I started to convince myself I'd imagined the whole thing. But then I heard it again, clearer this time because I was right up against the door. It wasn't just a random house sound, it was rhythmic, deliberate, like someone or something was moving around down there with purpose. I backed away from the door and pulled out my phone to text Mrs. Harrington. Before I could send it, I heard footsteps on the stairs above me. Milo appeared at the top of the staircase in his dinosaur pajamas, his face scrunched up with worry. "I can't sleep," he said, his voice small and uncertain. "The sounds are too loud tonight." I climbed the stairs to meet him. "What sounds, buddy?" He glanced toward the staircase leading down to the first floor, then back at me with wide eyes. "The basement sounds," he whispered. "They're always there, but tonight they're really loud." I felt my stomach drop. "How long have you been hearing sounds from the basement?" I asked gently. Milo shrugged. "Forever, I guess. Mommy and Daddy say it's just the house being old, but sometimes it sounds like someone's walking around down there." I got him back to bed, but my mind was spinning. Once I was sure he was asleep, I crept back downstairs. I pulled out my phone and texted Mrs. Harrington. "Hey, I'm hearing some concerning noises from the basement. Just want to make sure everything is okay." I watched the screen for a response. Nothing. I waited 5 minutes, then 10. The noises didn't stop. Every few minutes I'd hear another thump or scrape, sometimes followed by what sounded almost like a voice, though too muffled to make out any words. My phone finally buzzed around 9:30. Mrs. Harrington's text was short and firm. "Do not open that door under any circumstances. If you want to see what I did next, click the link